Hello guys, Crispy here, welcome back to another video. In this one, my friends, I'm going to be testing the Radeon RX 6700 XT in GTA 5. This one is the Sapphire Pulse edition of the card. We are running it with the latest AMD drivers at the time of recording this video, and I am not manually overclocking it. You can see all of its specs right here in Tech Power-Ups. GPU Z resizable bar is also enabled, aka AMD SAM, and we got 12 gigabytes of GDDR6 to work with. And over on the left, we're pairing it with the i5 13600K overclocked to 5.5 GHz and 32 gigabytes of DDR5 6000 MHz RAM in dual channel. Let's get into it, shall we? Let's go over the settings first. I'm starting at 1080p resolution, and we're also going to test this one at 1440p 4K and 8K resolutions, and we're using my custom settings right here, which are optimized for the best visuals to performance ratio, basically. So this is with almost everything maxed out aside from the grass quality, which is set to high instead of very high or ultra, because this is a very intensive setting. And over on the post-effects settings, I set it to normal instead of higher values, because even though this motion blur strength slider right here is set to the minimum, it still has motion blur on high, for example. And not only that, it introduces some weird and really ugly bloom effects, in my opinion at least. So set that to normal and it'll look great. Over on the advanced graphics settings, we're using everything turned off because these are very intensive. And let's play some GTA. Okay, so this is not gonna go very well, my friends, without anti-aliasing, because you can see that we're getting 188 FPS, and that's the engine limit of GTA 5. GPU utilization sometimes can go up to like 90%, 97 even, but we are engine bound, and whenever that happens here in GTA 5, that means that the game will start stuttering at some point, and it's gonna be a pretty unplayable experience, alright? Oh, there we go, finally. Okay, it took a really long time this time around, but there it is. It's dropping our 1% lows to single digits, and that's obviously not something that you want at all in your games. So what you need to do to avoid this is either lock the FPS using something like Rivetuner Statistics Server, or even using VSync right here that will lock your FPS to the monitor's refresh rate. In this case, it would be 120 Hz, and it would stay at 120 FPS the entire time, buttery smooth, zero stutters. But of course, this is a benchmark, so I'm actually going to play around with some MSAA instead. Please, god damn it, Rockstar, these menus don't work. Alright, here we have it, 2 times MSAA. Let's see if that works to drop our FPS from 188. Okay, yes, we're getting 150s, 160s. That's not bad at all, but I think there will be some scenarios where it still drops, where it still stutters because the FPS go up to 188 frames per second. Like, for example, right here. Yep, there we go, 188 FPS right there, so it would probably introduce a little bit of stuttering here and there throughout your gameplay. So 2 times MSAA is still very easy to run for the 6700 XT, my friends. 4 times MSAA, and hopefully, using these settings right here, it will stay below 188. Like, we're targeting the least FPS possible while still having like 100 plus FPS the entire time, so it doesn't stutter at all. And right now, it didn't really reach 180 frames per second, so everything is okay. Oh my god. Okay, alright, yes. Ooh, it's going up to like 180 FPS a time. No, it's 188 still. Are you serious? With 4 times MSAA? This is a lot better than the RTX 4060, by the way. Holy crap. Damn. That's crazy. Okay, let's keep on going here, because it doesn't really reach 188 many times, and 8 times MSAA will drop our FPS like crazy when we reach Jack's Hill, which has a lot of grass, basically, and grass is super intensive, especially with MSAA enabled. Again, enabling VSync will make it smoother. It will get rid of the tearing that you might see in your game, and it's gonna be a better experience, but it's a benchmark, and we need some decent values on the averages, not 120 FPS average and 121% lows. You know, that's not good. But yeah, another great thing about MSAA, for those of you who don't know, is that it just gets rid of most of the jagged edges that you see in GTA 5, and those are very prominent in this game, guys. So it's a good thing that you basically need to play with MSAA to get low FPS to make the game not stutter, because at the same time he's making the game look a lot better. All right, and this is Jacqueline, I believe. Goodbye, Jacqueline? No, we're not gonna kill her, obviously. Also, as I told you, the grassy areas are super intensive, and it's dropping our FPS into like the 120s and 110s at times. Oh, even into the 90s. Look at that, guys. Oh, boy. Yeah, it's still buttery smooth, obviously, on a high refresh rate panel. I doubt you notice the frame drops here and there, you know. Still feels super, super responsive as well. And I would definitely recommend these settings at 1080p. Ah, there's Bob. There we go. Goodbye, Bob! We gotta make sure that they're dead, of course. Let's go. All right. The Bobs are dead. Okay. All right. Pretty sure they're dead now. See, the police don't even care about this. They hear bullets and shots, and they don't really care at all. And at the end of it, with 4 times MSAA, we got 145 frames per second on average and 87 1% lows because of the grassy area. Quite good results. I did not really expect it to max out the engine limit at 188 FPS with 4 times MSAA. Let's disable this and let's play at 1440p next. Here we go. The resolution is now 2560 by 1440. We're not using MSAA anymore, but we're still utilizing the same optimized settings. And oh my god, yeah, it's still gonna stutter, guys. It's still gonna stutter with oh my god, 1440p resolution. Holy crap. See that? Sometimes it takes a while for the stutters to happen, but other times they will happen very, very frequently. So you just don't know whether or not it's going to be consistent. You cannot. It's not a viable option without MSAA or without locking the FPS. Let's do this. 2 times MSAA at 1440p looks really, really good, especially at 27 inches or even at 32 inches. I played a bunch of GTA 5 at 32 inch 1440p, and 2 times MSAA still looked really good. Of course, there were a lot of benefits to be had by bumping it up to 4 times at 32 inches, not so much at 27. But yeah, it still looks very good with 2 times MSAA at 1440. And it's still getting a high refresh rate experience with 140 frames per second and 112 1% low so far. Obviously, it will drop, and I guess it will probably drop into the 90s and even 80s. I actually expected it to drop a little bit further around here, guys. It's not dropping too much, only into the 90s. We're seeing a lot of vegetation, yeah. I don't think Jack's Hill is in this direction, but I think we can actually switch the cars. Yes? Which one should we utilize? Okay, let's do this. Maybe it's in this direction. You know, all roads lead to Jack's Hill, obviously. So if we just follow this, I bet we will get there. I'm smelling Jack already, okay? Maybe he pooped around here, I don't know. I'm a little bit lost, actually. We're almost there. Jack's Hill, here we are. 90s, lower, oh boy. Yeah, okay, so mid-80s is what we saw there on the minimum. See, this is really, really intensive right here. 70s even. Holy crap. Damn. All right, at this point, I think you should probably stick with 2 times MSAA at 1440p, because with 4 times, it will probably drop from 60, guys. Anyway, let's stop it there. No stuttering, no problem in terms of like reaching 188 frames per second at this resolution and settings. Let's just try it out with 4 times and check it out inside of the bushy areas and see how it does. So outside, in like roads and stuff, it'll get close to 100 frames per second, which is basically what we've seen in some of the vegetation areas previously with 2 times MSAA, so this is way more intensive right now. And over here, dropping into the 70s. Alright, it's actually still pretty good. 61 there. Okay. Jack! Hello? Why isn't Jack here? I don't understand it. This is terrible. This is one of the worst GTA 5 videos ever. Also, it's dropping. Yep, it's dropping into the 50s, just like I thought it would. So I would actually just stick to 2 times MSAA at 1440p. It already looks really good, as I told you. And of course, it doesn't ever drop from 60 FPS in that case. But yeah, we need to see Jack, my friends. Like, this is not good. There's Rex right here. Hello, little buddy. Running away from Bob, probably. Bob, is that you that I see? I think so. Goodbye, Bob, once again. Oh, yes. That isn't Bob? I'm sorry, little buddy. I'm really sorry. Oh, my gosh. That's sad, guys. That's really sad. I really thought that was Bob. Because sometimes Bob actually has a little dog with him. And when I kill Bob, the dog runs away from him. Indicating that it's definitely Bob because he mistreats animals and stuff. But that wasn't Bob. Time for 4K resolution without anti-aliasing or MSAA. I think with the 4060 it actually did drop a little bit near vegetation, you know, from 60 FPS. Not by too much, it was still a very playable experience, but yeah, this one is once again a little bit faster than that. Come on, how come you didn't die with that? I'm actually gonna reload the previous game because I really want to see Jack, you know, and he's not here anymore. Let's go. Start counting our FPS and run our benchmark run, the usual, once again. Okay, it's all good. It's all good. Jesus Christ, that one is definitely dead. I'm so sorry. Everything is completely fine. I bet we can actually probably touch 100 frames per second at times in some scenarios, which is great. It's 4K with almost maxed out settings, guys. Again, aside from anti-aliasing, of course, and the advanced ones, because those are very, 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 very ultra intensive. But yeah, the game looks great right now. I can still see a little bit of shimmering and jagged edges here, even at 4K resolution. So it would probably still benefit quite a bit from 2x MSAA, for example, but that would have been a bit too much for the 6700 XT. Oh, come on! All right, that's an interesting way to land. All right, good stuff. Hello, lady. How's it going? Do you want a little ride? Also, I'm starting to see a few little spikes here and there. You left your coffee over there. Like, you can see in the frame time graph, sometimes they're very consistent as well, I think. They don't happen very often, but it seems like they're happening at a consistent rate and time. Anyway, it shouldn't really be very noticeable, and if you do notice them, locking the FPS will solve it. So keep that in mind, and it's already dropping from 60 FPS. Hello, Jack, finally! How's it going, buddy? I think I wrecked my car already. It's not working properly. It's very slow. Do not go downhill, please. Sometimes you fall. You know what? Let's follow him around. He's showing us the way of the benchmark, my friends. Dropping us from 60 FPS very often right here in grassy areas. Once again, 4060 also did drop from 60. I thought this one would get a little bit higher and stay at 60 plus, but not a problem. A little overclock will fix it and make it stay above 60 FPS all of the time, or a little adjustment to the settings will do that as well. So it's still very, very playable here at 4K resolution, and I would totally recommend this experience. Let's kill Bob now. Get over here, Bob. Where are you? I'm coming for... There he is. There he is. I saw him with his dog, my friends. I saw the bastard. Come on. Okay, 51 FPS, dropping into the lower 50s. Goodbye, Bob! Haha, see? Rex is going away because he does not like his owner. This is the real Bob. Well, I'm trying to make him a tattoo. It's not really working that well, but I guess you know what I mean, right? It's just a little line over there with two little balls. Yes. And now, for 8K resolution, I'm gonna utilize frame scaling mode right here. So, at 2x... Okay, 2x frame scaling means double the resolution scale, and it goes by the vertical resolution, so it's actually going to be 8K. Now, I'm not really setting the actual resolution here to 8K because it doesn't really work one-to-one with AMD GPUs from what I've seen. I actually tested it previously, and it was getting more FPS with the use of VRS than with native 8K, but this does get pretty much the same FPS as native 8K. So here we go with the 12 gigabytes of VRAM on this card. We can actually run it still at very high settings, or my custom settings. Oh boy, that is actually pretty good. Okay, I mean, it's dropping from 30 frames per second, of course, and that's not really playable, but The RTX 4060 with its 8 gigabytes of VRAM, for example, got way lower FPS. It actually got like 1 FPS or something like that. It couldn't handle it whatsoever because of the VRAM limitation. But here, with the 6700 XT's 12 gigabytes of VRAM, as well as like the 3060, for example, with 12 gigabytes of VRAM, these GPUs can actually run 8K with very high textures, apparently. I'm gonna drop the settings now to high settings while keeping the texture quality to very high, because it can handle that. This is it, okay? High settings. And I'm gonna restart the game, and hopefully it's still gonna be playable. Okay, just checking it out again. 4K, high settings, very high textures, advanced graphics all turned off aside from frame scaling, which is set to 2 times, so it makes it 8K. And look at this. At 8K high settings, the 6700 XT is actually matching like the GT 710 at 720p using the lowest settings. That's absolutely insane, guys. And what's even more insane is when you take into consideration that 8K is actually the same resolution as having 4 4K monitors running at the same time at max res. Now the problem is, I think when we get to Jack's Hill, the grass is gonna kill it. It's gonna kill the performance, basically. So some better settings to utilize with this GPU at 8K would be like normal grass quality, rest of the settings on high, textures very high, and then it will actually work very well, always above 30 FPS. But hey, we haven't really gotten there yet, so maybe it will surprise us. Here we go, moment of truth, my friends. 30, 29, yep. 28, 27, I don't like that. Hello, Jack, how you going? Seeing Jack in glorious 8K is always very, very interesting. Alright, guys, that's it. I think I am gonna go back to like 1080p, play a little bit in online just to show you that it gets exactly the same FPS as we saw previously. If not, it's only because of a CPU bottleneck, and then finish it right there. Here we go, back to 1080p, 4x MSAA, the customized, optimized, very high settings, using no frame scaling anymore. Alright guys, as I told you, this is GTA Online, and it's getting very similar FPS to what we saw previously, right? I mean, it's a little bit lower because now we are actually fully CPU bound. You can see GPU utilization is fluctuating a little bit there, but if it wasn't for a CPU bound scenario, we'd be getting exactly the same FPS as in single player with the 6700 XT. So online, for the millionth time in my videos, is more CPU bound, not GPU bound. GPU performance is exactly the same, if not slightly better in online, because they actually remove a few props here and there, and the animals and stuff like that. So there's that. That's been it for this one, my friends. Thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. 99% utilization there, or 98% right now, getting exactly the same as single player once again. I'll catch you in the next one very soon. As always, love you all. Bye-bye.